Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Rock Hard 1977.
This is a new game from Devir designed by Jackie Fox.
It plays from 2 to 5 players in 90 minutes.
It's a music game, it's a rock themed game. First of all, before we say anything else, this is a review copy of the game we got at Gen Con. Now we have played it a few times and we're going to talk to you all about one of the hottest games that came out at Gen Con. People were out in the hallway at like 7:30 to be able to get into that room and get that game. We're going to talk to you all about it to see if this might be a game for you or if this might be a game that you will skip because there are so many games out there. As always, I'm going to do a short little overview about what you do in the game before we jump into the thing and see what it's all about. In this game, you are a wannabe musician or an up-and-coming musician. You have your normal day job. You have to go there. If you miss it too often, you're going to lose your day job, and then you will become a professional musician, also known as workless.
Unemployed.
Yes, unemployed. You will not have a job. So yeah, professional musician. Most people who are professional something, they just don't have a job. Like in this game. Or you might have gotten to the point where you are actually a professional musician. Depends on how often you go to your job. Doesn't really matter. Let's continue on the game. The game is played over a maximum of 9 rounds. It could end earlier, but I think most time it's going to go to the 9 rounds. Every round you are, most of the time, going to do 3 action. 1 day action, 1 night action, and 1 after hours action. You're going to have 1 worker that is going to be the person that you are. You're going to use the day to go to the radio station to do an interview. You can negotiate a record deal. You can hire more crew. You can rehearse. You can go and get promos to people to listen to your music on the radio. And then during the night, you will most of the time go gigging. You can also do rehearsing at night if you don't have a gig to go to. There's some random events that you can go and get different stuff. Also, every time of the day, you can go to the different all-time, like anytime actions. After hours, you could just go to bed. Or you could record a demo, which will then later be able to use to get a record deal. You can hang out at different places, at the bar, to photo shoot, backstage, to get different random bonuses, and also to use this for set collection. You are also going to have your player board. On the player board, you're going to have one of the different persons that you will choose at the beginning of the game. It will show you a special ability. You'll also have a manager, and you'll also have your normal job, which will tell you when in the day you work, what you get when you work. Many times you have to roll a die, and also there might be some special condition for your job. You're going to have different knobs up here that all goes to 11 that you will power up basically your stats. You have some craving over here for sugar. We will talk more about that later. And your royalties if you manage to get a record deal. Basically what you're currently doing in the game is to level up these 3 so that you will be better at doing the different things. For example, doing the gigs which will have conditions. You have to have 6 in shops, 8 in reputation, and 5 songs. And also you need to have 2 crew to be able to go to Yenser Arena. So that is basically what you're trying to do in the game. Sometimes during the game you have to pay upkeep, basically pay your manager. If you can't do that, you will lose points. There are different goals you're trying to. Some of them are races, trying to be there first. Some of them are going to be at the end of the game. You're going to have events happen at the beginning of each round, which can change the round, change the rule, give you a bonus, make something not possible to do. And you will also have personal goals that you will try to accomplish. And that is basically what you do in a game of Rock Hard. Trying to go from the bottom all the way to the top to play at the Carter Stadium and get those sweet fame points. The player with the most fame points at the end is going to be the winner. Let's talk about the game. Let's start with what we always do, the things you can see with your eyes and feel with your fingers.
Yes, the components and artwork, and I like what I'm seeing in this game. I love the production, and our overhead camera doesn't really do these acrylic minis their justice because I think they look gorgeous. Also, I think the player board, which you showed right now, I love that as well. These knobs, some of them I found really hard to turn. I really did dislike that. If everyone was equally hard, I will never play this game because I struggled. I picked an easy one right now, but some of those can be really hard. But I really like the production of this game, and it's so beautiful to look at, and the quality is really good.
I like the paper money.
Yes.
A sentence I never thought I would say in my life. When I opened the box and I saw paper money, I was like, are you serious?
No,
they're paper money? But these paper money, like, look at this. Like, I'm good at dealing things, that's okay, but like paper money, usually this is how it goes. And you get 5. So this is like super smooth. They feel kind of like very similar to actual money. They have obviously not made them exactly the same because for legal reasons, but they look and feel very much like currency. And it makes it fun. Oh, I got $3.
Yes.
Really feels like I'm getting those money to get, because money is tight in this game.
Yeah, and it really adds to the theme of the game.
Oh yeah, it absolutely does. Does it have anything else? It does.
Yes.
A rulebook.
A rulebook.
And the rulebook is pretty good. The three rulebooks, they go up and down. Sand, the last one, was not good. This one is pretty good. I also like, and this really, because when I look at this rulebook, I think it's like a normal sized rulebook. And it kind of shows you already, I didn't show you this, at the first page it kind of already knows who is going to get this game. Like it only knows who it's speaking to, because it says, why is this rulebook so long?
Okay.
And I was like, it's not. But that's because I'm used to long rulebooks. So it's like, this theme is gonna, people are gonna buy it and feel like it's a bigger game than they maybe thought it was. But it's a pretty straightforward. There's a lot of like you see here, like one of the pages is just like the actual board.
I love that.
It's just this.
Yes.
And then you have the explanations. So it's less rules than you actually would think. There's a couple of things. Like the only thing, for example, how the end game scoring, there is a part of the game where you use candy. We're going to talk more about that. Where you can possibly lose points at the end of the game. But that doesn't show up here. So it's kind of like there's a final scoring, but it's kind of not because it happens back then. It's kind of weird placement of it. But other than that, I would say that I will give this 1 guitar up.
Cool. It also has a player aid. There's a lot of information on this player aid, but it's really all you need to know, and there's also icons on the other side, so I'm happy about this player aid.
Yes, it shows you like you almost don't need a rulebook after you start playing because you have all of that. Yes. Did we play the game and did it take time?
Yes, to both of those questions. We played it with 2 and 3 players, and it has taken us a little over 1 hour to 1 hour 45 minutes.
Yes, the box says what?
90 minutes.
Yeah, I think you can get it to 90 with at least with 3 people.
Yes.
We played 3, I think you can easily get that down to 90. I'm unsure if you could play it in 90 with 4 people. Yeah. And everybody has to know exactly what they do. So I think it's possible. But no, that's probably going to be like a 2-hour game, I would guess, with 4 people. Like half an hour per player, I would think would like be a normal playing time for this game.
Yes.
Let's start talking about something that we usually don't talk about at all.
Yes.
Which I think that without that, this game would not exist. And that is...
the theme.
Yes.
I love the theme. And the theme shines so brightly true in this game. Like everything. The components, like for example, these player pieces being collectors. And the paper money being a good quality to add to the game. And also that you really feel like you're struggling in the beginning and you get like a little engine going. Like you get some royalties from your record deal and you try to actually make something. And maybe you might like quit your job because you don't need it anymore. So
or maybe you quit it right when you're getting fired. Yes. You're like, you're fired. No, I quit. And you run out. And you're like...
But I really feel like this is a game where the theme really added to my experience.
I will say this. And it's not really a detriment to the game, but I will say the theme is the game. Like without the theme, I don't think this would have been released. I don't think it would exist. But it adds also to the theme. And like this is kind of a you don't need to know this to play the game. Many people will probably just buy the game and play it. But like the fact that this is basically Jackie Fox's life. Like if you didn't know, she was a rock star. She was a bassist, I think, in the Runaways in the 70s. So basically this game is based on that and her experiences and all of that, which is pretty cool. and it adds to my enjoyment of the game, that fact as well. It's a cool thing. It would be sad if it wasn't thematic when it was made by somebody who did all these things.
I agree. I kind of expect it coming from her, but at the same time, I wouldn't expect all these cards to have funny flavor text that really you can see that really happening, or the events have funny flavor text, and also these random gigs. So there's a lot of love in this game, I feel like.
I would say the box says 16 plus. There's not a lot of board games that does so. And I would say you could play it with younger people, but there's especially some cards that might be not good for an 8-year-old. But other than that, you could remove things and make it more family friendly.
Yes.
But I don't see many board games that are 16 plus.
No, I don't think it's because of the complexity, if that's what you're
it's
saying.
About the theme, absolutely. But for me, yes, everything feels thematic. Do I go to my work? Do I do the thing to try to grow my band? I've been in a position, not with music, but when I need to have a day job, but when I'm working up to be a professional magician, and then, okay, I don't really know a job anymore because now I actually get enough money for that. So it's kind of it's not thematically the same, but adjacent to the things I have done in my life as well. So I will say the theme is the greatest thing about the game.
I agree. So let's talk about the gameplay.
Yes, because there are gameplay as well. It's not just a theme.
It's a theme. It's pretty much straightforward worker placement, but you have these 3 phases of it.
Yeah.
You can use candy to get more actions.
Let's talk more about that later.
Yes. But it's 3 actions is basically what you have on your turn. You can also do these all-time actions, as you said. That reminds me a little bit of viticulture.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
It is a nice way. I would guess it's inspired by that. And sometimes you're going to be but in this area I really want to do 3 actions, but there I don't really need any actions. And it's nice to have these different things. I feel the job, because your job is going to have a time of day that you want to do it. So for example, if I was a proofreader, I would have to do my work at night. And at night is when you want to go gigging, you want to go and do the gigs. So I feel like it's a tiny thing, but when I had a job, the time we play when I had a job in the after hours, that felt easier because there was not so important for me to do the things there. Or more random, which we're going to come to. Could be really good. Could be not that good, so it felt less I'm just going to go to work and get some money. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I kind of agreed. Last time we played, I really tried to think about that. And I really did my job 2 rounds.
Yep.
And then I quit my job because I needed those actions for other things. Money is really tight, but I feel it's mostly tight in the beginning.
Yes.
Before you get that record deal and you begin getting those royalties, then you should have your job. But after getting that royalty, you could survive on that, and then it opens up to do other things in that time.
Yeah, there are a couple of things. It's pretty tight the things you want to do, and every time you play, you're going to do almost the same thing.
Yes.
You're trying to work up your 3 different base stats so that you'll be able to do better gigs, because that is going to be the big amount of points you're going to get. If you never get to these, I don't think you're going to win.
No.
Because 3 points versus 8 points every round is a big deal. There are other ways to get points, but these are the main points getters. So you're basically doing the same thing, and mostly the same kind of thing every time you play. You want to get up those base stats so you can start working in the better areas. So to do that, there's many things you want to do, and most of the time you only have few actions. There's 2 things with that. It feels kind of tight.
Yes.
There's 2 things with that. The one thing we're going to talk about first is the candy, and then we're going to talk about what we feel is the luck randomness element of this game. Let's talk about the candy.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna read from the rulebook. We read from the rulebook, page 13. Candy. Sometimes rockers need a little something extra to get them through their difficult, busy day, even though they know it probably isn't good for them in the long run. Whether it's too much coffee, adoration from an ever greater number of fans, or anything else that gets your heart pumping, candy is just a boost your character might need, a way of potentially getting extra actions in one turn at the risk of long-term consequences.
So the way it works is
Yes,
that...
and you all know what this is.
Yes.
We don't have to say
No.
it. It's a nice way of making it in the game
I
without...
like it. I thought it was funny to
you
make
have
it
to
candy.
put it in the game
Yeah.
because the 70s was the 70s.
Yes. Well, the way it works is that before I do my action, I will say I will use my candy this turn. You have to have the candy. These are the candy.
Yes.
And then you get cravings. So this dial will go 1 up.
Let's say it was at 3.
Yeah, let's
Like,
say it was a
use
3.
a candy, it goes to 4.
Now I will draw one of these cards. These has either +1 action, +2, or no actions at all. So here it's +1 actions. Most of them are that. And
then I would up the craving. So
Yes.
if you get 0, you don't up the craving.
And then I have to roll for cravings. So if I get a number 4 or lower, it will be okay. But I didn't.
2. So you get low blood sugar. And that means you have to go into recovery the next round.
Yes.
So you will lose your day action, your craving will go down.
But
and you
I will get an extra action right now.
Yay!
And that might be super important.
Yes. So basically that is a way to get more stuff. So with that said, we can go into the randomness of the game. There is, for me, too much randomness.
I agree.
But again, like this is, before we say anything more about this is a me problem, not a game problem.
I agree.
Because for the people who play this as the thematic fun game it is, which our brains have a problem doing. Because we want everything to be a Euro.
Yes, we don't
want
like
it to
fun.
we want it to be, oh, I'm trying to get the points, trying to do these things. I flip a card. It was not the thing I wanted. I would rather have just gotten that thing. So first of all, you could spend a candy that you have gotten. You have spent time, money getting that candy actions. You can spend it and then you just get nothing.
That's true.
You could, like Jackie already said on BDG, it's very simple to take a card out. But it's not like in the rulebook. I like to play the things as the designer intended it. We never host rule things because I want to enjoy the game as it was made. And if I don't, there's other games. So like it's this. I'm just going to note the things and you can talk about it. It's this. It's the event cards at the beginning of the round. And then there are the 4 piles of maybe get things.
Yes. And also this random gigs, but I don't really mind that one.
That is, I think, for me, that don't include it because that's just going to flip and it's not going to affect you if you don't want it to affect you.
That's true, because I have mostly trouble with the events because that's another thing that I can choose to ignore.
Yeah.
This I can choose to not do the candy. It's nice with more actions. But it's not mandatory.
No.
In my last game, I used 2 candy for the entire game and I won. So you don't need them. But they're really nice
but
to have.
You're also Sunima who wins a lot of board games.
That's true. But I can choose not to have this luck element if I don't like it. Also with these, you have like some give you bonuses, some are better than others. Some is like a point and some is like 2 points. Or a cooler thing, for example, and you don't know what you're getting. I think it's cool that it also goes towards something else than
like
just
a set selection.
going, like getting some random bonus. But this event, I can't choose to ignore that because it will affect me whether I want to or not.
Yes, I agree. Most of them are fine. There's a couple that are like, for example, the first time you played, you had a plan, you had 2 candy, you want to use that, and you had even a personal goal that gave you 5 points if you had no candy left. And then the last event card was, you can't use candy this round.
I was not happy.
So you lost points and you lost more actions during that round.
Yes.
I have to say, in the rulebook, there is like, this is going to give you this is going to give you this. But that's like not really the case. Because it says like, in the backstage ones are going to give you more songs. So you might be like, oh, I need another song. Going to flip one. Didn't give me a song. For me, personally, if I knew that I would get at least a song if I choose this.
Yeah.
I would be fine with that.
Yes.
Because then I could be like, I got a song, or I could choose to get this thing. Or I could get a song, but I could pay to get 2 songs.
Yeah.
Like something like that, that would be better for me. If all of these had like a thing, like these are like special powers, if all of those were like up to one of them, and you could then, because then I could know kind of what I got, but it was like a twist, or it was a little different way, or you could choose another thing. I would like that better. As it is now, I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. I would be more fine with it then, but now I kind of know that's what the game is,
Yes.
and it doesn't bother me that much. But for a game this crunchy, because it's not heavy, but it has crunch, because this is hard to achieve.
Yes, and it should be, because it makes sense.
That's true, but I feel like it's a little dissatisfying if I am working my butt off to achieve this, and I'm just like, keep drawing this, and I don't get the songs. Well, I can get songs there, but songs are hard to get.
Yes. So who do you think this game is for, and what do you think is the weight of the game?
I think this is a medium game. I think this is especially a game for people who love this theme.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind the luck factors, this is a fun game to play.
I agree. Like, it's basically, those things. So let's go into the final thoughts. But before we do that, if you are new to our channel and you enjoyed this review and you enjoy us talking about board games, we're gonna do that a lot in the coming months. We usually do it a lot, but we're gonna do it a lot now because of Gen Gun Spiel, all of those things. So many games to talk about. We are excited to give you loads of stuff. And if you want to see them, you can help us out in a very big way. It means more than you think it does by giving us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click that subscribe button, and you can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
Yeah, final thoughts time for Rock Hard 1977 by Devir. Let's go.
I really liked it. I like it for what it is. And it is a game with luck in it.
Yeah.
And as long as you are fine with that, I think you're gonna like this game, because it is a really cool game. It has a lot of meaningful, cool decisions, a lot of situations when you're just like, no, you went to that action spot. That's where I wanted to go. How worker placements should be, in my opinion.
Yes.
And the theme is really like I don't want to say the icing on the cake, but it will be a more boring cake without the icing. So it's kind of right. I love the theme. I think the theme is, as you said, the game, and I'm gonna give it a 7. It is a good game.
Okay. Yes, I love the theme. Like, the theme is the thing. If you, and I said, everything we said, and my final thoughts is, more than a lot of other games, I feel like it's a me problem and not the game problem. Because it's a very good designed game. It just does things in a different way than I would have done them. And I enjoy, like, when I see Jackie is very active on the BGG forums, and it's fun to see, because like every time someone says this, he's like, but I enjoy this is what I like. And that's pretty cool, because that means that this is the way she wanted the game to be. And the things I don't like about the game is a me problem. So if you are like me, and you are bothered by these, some people on board game groups on Facebook, I was writing like a little thing about it. They're like, I didn't see any randomness. And I was like, but there is. But to some people, this might not feel that random, but to me, it's a bit too much luck. The theme drags it up. The theme makes it so that if you play it with a group, that you're gonna love the theme. We'll listen to 70s music. We'll listen to the Runaways, obviously, when we play this, and just listen to that music, have fun, just going with that flow. I think you will like it a lot. This is, again, who is it for? But it always happens in this, because they go so much hand in hand. For me, I think it's a fine game. I enjoyed my time with it. I don't know when I will see it at the shelf and be like, oh, I have to play that again. If it would be for the theme and the production more than the actual gameplay puzzle.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a 6.5. It's a good game, but not anything more for me. And that's going to be the end of this one. We hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sunniva.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.